Rod starts to pull the team over and bends around to the left, which tells me he is doing a rolling show. And as the team come around to the left, you can really see that top form shape of that Diamond 9 formation. The command is given. You'll start to see Reds 8 and 9 move their way rearwards as they take the team into 9 Arrow. Leading the team this year is squad leader John Bond, known as Bondy. Bondy was in the team for 5 years previously, where he was Red 6, 7, and he's also been Red 2. He's a former Typhoon pilot and also a former qualified flying instructor on the Tucano. As they come into the left, in Big Nixon. 9, there are 11 pilots in the Red Arrows. You have 9 displayed for you today. And you have Red 10, that's myself, former Tornado GR4 pilot, former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk Team Mark II. And of course, we are commanded by Wing Commander Adam Collins, my predecessor as Red 10, also a former Tornado GR4 pilot, and he also flew the F-111 while on exchange with the Royal Australian Air Force. You now see 8 and 9 move themselves rearwards, and of course this year we celebrated the 80th anniversary of Overlord, which was of course the storming of the Normandy beaches by the Allied forces, and in tribute to all those that took part in the preparation and to those that paid the ultimate price, this is the Spitfire. Roll. On the right hand side of Red 1 is Red 2, that's squad leader Chris McCann. He's in his first year in the team. He was taken from training straight into an instructor as a qualified flying instructor on the Tucano, and then after that he joined the world famous 617 Squadron, where he actually received an Air Force Cross for service and operations over Afghanistan. On this opposite number, on the left-hand side of Red 1, is Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wales, known as Dusty. First year on the team, he's originally from Zimbabwe, and he's also a former Typhoon pilot with 11 Squadron, 41 Squadron, and an instructor on 29 Squadron. Reds 4 and 5, the smoke comes on now on either side. That centre stem makes themselves all the way to the rear. And November 2023, it was the 20th anniversary of the final flight of one of the most famous and iconic aircraft in aviation history. As the team roll out, there is no mistaking the wonderful and majestic shape of Concorde. You can now see that top shape of Concorde. Before now, Reds 8 and 9 will make their way left and right. And you'll see the wings of the Concorde starting to flex forward as they are. Start to make their way to either side of the formation. Now looking all the way down their wings for Phoenix. In the middle of that right wing is Red 4, that's Flight Lieutenant Ollie Suckling. He was Red 4 last year. His second year he remained as Red 4 because he took up the role affectionately known as Uncle Enid, and that means he's the mentor and also helps Red 1 through winter training, training the new pilots during their winter training, making sure they reach the standards required of a Red Arrow pilot. You now see Reds 8 and 9 drop backwards and they'll form two distinctive rows as they come around to the right. The smoke will come on for the chevron roll. On the front row, all the way on the far left-hand side, is Red 5. That's Lieutenant George Hobday. George is also a new pilot this year. He's also flown the Typhoon with 11 Squadron. And he's also taken part on operations over Iraq and Syria, as well as taking part in the Eastern Europe Air Policing Patrol in the face of the aggressive Russia. Of course, the Red Arrows is not just about the pilots. We have a team of over 140 personnel, and over 120 of them are the engineers, the mechanics, the logisticians, the administrators, the public relations, and they are known as the Blues, due to the colour of their blue coveralls that they wear. Inside those Blues are 11 individuals who get to fly in the back of our aircraft in between shows when we cannot take the full engineering complement. And they are the Circus, and one individual with me at every show is Circus 10, Corporal Phil Dye. And he's out on the front filming the display for debriefing and safety purposes. Coming in from the left hand side, you'll now see Reds 8 and 9 for one of the most popular, if not the most popular manoeuvre we fly. This is the Tornado. 8 and 9 roll, go. The aboard call is made by Red 9 as Red 8 and 9 roll around the rest of the formation. Watch for the colour chain as Red 1 brings them around to the left. And Reds 8 and 9 continue that roll around, presenting a wonderful Tornado. You may be able to see the aircraft are flying with their air brakes out. That's the small door on the belly of the aircraft towards the rear. This has two effects. The first one is it makes the pilots fly with a higher throttle setting. Thereby it produces a hotter engine gas temperature, and it makes the smoke burn a lot more brightly. In addition to that, it disturbs the airflow outside the back of the aeroplane, and it makes the smoke billow a lot fuller, and therefore we use it in certain manoeuvres in the show to enhance those manoeuvres. You now see Reds 8 and 9 on our far right hand side starting to close back in. As Red 1 continues to bring the team around to the left, this will be your last opportunity in the show to get that picture of our Red Arrows in our world famous iconic Diamond 9. So once again, as Red 1 rolls them out, he'll bring them around to the right, the smoke will come on. So from the right, the 2024 in diamond formation, it's the Red Arrows. As we now go into the second half, you'll see a manoeuvre which has not been flown since 2003. Get your cameras ready for the 5-4 split. Season now split into two distinct sections. You have Reds 1 through 5 going off to the right. They are now known as Enid, named after Enid Blyton's famous 5 from the children's books. And you have Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9 off to the left. They are known as Hannah, named after Squadron Leader Ray Hannah, RAF pilot legend. He's also the team right at the beginning. He's also the only team leader to lead the team for 4 years. He took the team from a 7 to a 9 and formed our trademark Diamond 9. We have Enid from the right, Hannah from the left for the 5-4 cross. Keep your eye on Enid going off to your left hand side. The Red Arrows were formed in 1964 with our first public display in 1965, and we were actually formed from 3 different formation teams: the Red Pelicans, the Black Arrows and the Yellow Jacks. We took the red from the Red Pelicans, the arrows from the Black Arrows to give us our name, and of course we took the aircraft from the Yellow Jacks. Enid in the right, from the right, in a shape to represent and pay tribute to that aircraft. This is the Gnat. We flew the Gnat right the way up until 1980 when we took over the Hawk T Mark 1, which is the aircraft that we fly today. And And the Hawk itself is actually 50 years old this year. Great aircraft to fly, extremely agile and enjoyable. Look directly to your front and you've got 6, 7, 8 and 9. 8 and 9, the red and blue comes on. Get your cameras ready for the Hannah split.
What are they?
Red 6 off to our right, pulling up with the smoke trail on. That's Flight Lieutenant Stu Roberts. Stu is in his 3rd and final year on the team. He was a Typhoon pilot with both 11 and 12 squadron based at RAF Coningsby. Each pair will now dive down to approximately only 100 feet above the airfield. They'll have a closing speed of over 800 miles per hour. Once again, get your cameras ready for the Hannah pass. Red 7. That's Squad Leader Tom Hansford, 2nd year on the team, former Typhoon pilot and qualified weapons instructor on the Typhoon. As 6 and 7 now turn hard towards the centre to complete the manoeuvre known as Cyclone. As the Synchro pair lead directly to your front, look to your left hand side, coming in at over 450 miles per hour is Red 9. Red 9 is Flight Lieutenant Patrick Kershaw, 3rd and final year on the team, former Tornado GR4 and